The fragile peace that followed Bran Stark's coronation begins to crack as unrest spreads quietly across Westeros. In the north, Sansa grows increasingly aware that her kingdom's independence has inspired others to question the authority of the Iron Throne. Reports of wildling movements and strange winter patterns trouble her deeply, pushing her to reconsider her alliance with the South. Meanwhile, Jon Snow lives in quiet exile beyond the Wall, but guilt from Daenerys' death follows him like a second shadow. He feels a shift in the wind, something icy and familiar, as if the North is calling him back to a destiny he thought he escaped. Ghost, sensing danger, never leaves his side. In King's Landing, Bran begins experiencing broken visions, fragmented, clouded, and painfully incomplete. Something is interfering with his connection to the Weirwood network, something powerful enough to disturb time itself. Tyrion notices Bran's growing distraction and fears the kingdom has no real leader. Tension rises when mysterious fires erupt across Flea Bottom, echoing patterns of dormant wildfire. Nobles resent Bran's emotionless rule, whispering conspiracies behind closed doors. A hidden figure crosses the Red Keep with unnatural stealth, leaving behind a guard frozen upright, as though turned into ice mid-breath. Far west across uncharted seas, Arya discovers a silent island covered in ancient markings, resembling the drawings of the children of the forest. She begins having dreams of fire merging with ice, of faces she once wore whispering to her from the dark. When she meets a tribe of pale-skinned wanderers protecting remnants of primordial magic, they warn her of a returning cold that remembers every face. They recognize her dagger, the very weapon that killed the Night King, and call it a key to an unfinished battle. Confused but determined, Arya starts to believe she has sailed into a truth even Bran never understood. Back in the far north, Jon discovers a glowing fissure in the ice, pulsing with the same magic that once fueled the White Walkers. Trees nearby are shattered from within as though a great cold burst them apart. He realizes the Night King's death did not end the magic, only disrupted it. Whatever created the Night King is awakening again, in raw, uncontrolled form. Jon hesitates to return south, knowing his presence could spark political revolt. But when a raven reaches him carrying Sansa's seal, he understands the fight he tried to leave behind is rising once more. Sansa gathers her council, torn between isolation and duty to protect the realm. Brienne returns to her side, offering loyalty and counsel. Winter deepens unnaturally across the Riverlands and north, hinting at a supernatural source. Sansa debates sending aid, knowing compassion now could save alliances later. As she prepares Winterfell for the unknown, she feels the crushing weight of ruling alone, wishing her family were once again by her side. Bran attempts to journey north with Tyrion to unite the kingdoms, but his convoy is attacked by warriors wielding weapons faintly glowing blue. Their bodies move as though possessed, impervious to mortal wounds. During the attack, Bran is struck by a freezing wave of magic that momentarily severs his powers. Tyrion pulls him to safety while Bronn holds off the attackers. Bran confesses he felt a presence behind the magic, one eerily familiar, one he believed destroyed forever. Jon returns to the Wall as volunteers rebuild it, driven by fear of the returning cold. Some urge him to warn Bran, while others blame Bran's rule for the realm's disarray. Jon dreams of blue eyes in shattered forests, dreams that feel too real to ignore. When Sansa's message finally reaches him, he decides to ride south, accompanied by a wildling force ready to stand by him no matter what destiny awaits. Winterfell becomes the center of every rising power. Bran arrives weakened, his visions flickering like dying embers. Sansa sees fear in him, a rare crack in the unshakable persona of the three-eyed raven. Brienne investigates frozen corpses found near the borders, their limbs twisted in unnatural shapes. Jon arrives with the wildlings, and though the reunion with Sansa is complicated, old loyalties reawaken. Memories of Daenerys haunt him, shaping his fear into a quiet determination. The Stark siblings brace themselves as the north grows colder by the day. Arya returns under the veil of night, slipping through Winterfell's gates unseen. The reunion with her brothers and sister is emotional but heavy with foreboding. She reveals what she learned, that the magic that created the Night King has been disturbed, torn open, and is leaking into the world. She insists a living human is linked to the reawakening, someone who has found a way to manipulate ancient forces. Bran tries to follow the magical threads but feels something blocking him, a force that hides behind the storm. Meanwhile, King's Landing spirals into rebellion. Southern lords challenge Bran's rule, claiming the realm needs a monarch with passion, blood, and fire. They whisper of a hidden Targaryen across the narrow sea and attempt to frame Gendry as part of a conspiracy. Tyrion fears civil war could erupt before he even returns. Without a dragon or a unifying ruler, the capital sits on the brink of total collapse. Back in Winterfell, Bran reveals the most terrifying truth. The ancient magical force has spoken to him through the storm. It seeks form. It seeks vengeance. It seeks a new vessel. The threat is not a Night King reborn, but the original elemental force of ice itself, something older than the children of the forest. Winterfell begins to tremble as blue light cracks across the night sky. Frost creeps over the walls as an immense storm approaches, moving like a living creature. For the first time since childhood, Jon, Sansa, Arya, and Bran stand united on the battlements of Winterfell. The storm howls with a voice that seems to whisper Jon's name. Longclaw glows faintly in his hand, responding to the cold with ancient fire. Arya prepares her dagger. Bran's eyes turn white as he tries to face the force invading his mind. Sansa stands tall, unbroken, ready to defend her people. The season was meant to be one of rebuilding, yet Winterfell is now surrounded by unnatural snowdrifts rising as tall as towers. Scouts report seeing figures made of swirling frost, neither alive nor dead, moving through the blizzard as though searching for someone. Jon watches them from afar, feeling their gaze trace across the field until it settles directly on him. Even the wildlings, hardened by years of harsh winters, whisper that the cold feels wrong, like it is thinking, choosing, waiting. The people of the north look to Jon for answers he is not sure he has. As the storm grows stronger, Bran attempts one last, desperate vision. His body trembles violently as he connects to the weirwood roots deep beneath Winterfell. What he sees terrifies him. A swirling void at the heart of the blizzard, a consciousness ancient and furious. It remembers the wars of men, the burning of forests, the breaking of the magic that once held balance in the world. Bran collapses, whispering only one sentence. It wants to finish what it started. The air grows colder as if responding to his words. Preparing for the inevitable attack, Sansa orders every able person to take shelter within Winterfell. She sends ravens to the remaining kingdoms, pleading not as a queen but as a daughter of the North begging for unity. Few respond. Some fear traveling through the growing winter. Others remain tangled in southern politics. Sansa realizes the North may once again stand alone, but this time the enemy is not human ambition, it is elemental fury itself.